Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Ramblr feature videos. If you haven't seen any of our videos before, my name is Drago. I'm a machine learning expert here at Ramblr, and in these videos, we try to show you all of our, the features from our platform, everything new that we keep coming in, also some mini tutorials on how you can get started. And on today's video, we're actually going to do the second part of how to use our pipeline and configuration UI, right? So we've looked in previous videos on how to annotate and all of the different sources of information you can extract from our with our tool from your videos. Um, but you also there's this sort of higher layer where you can configure that entire annotation process, right? And how do the different Rambler features connect so that you get the result you want in the end, right? Um, so without further ado, we're going to go right away to our projects page. Again, our demo. I'm going to go here to the demo project, documents here, and I'm going to say start a new pipeline. So last time, in the video where we covered this UI, we showed how do you actually start a new pipeline, right? So here we talked about, okay, you can name your annotation, define your frame range, and then you would click on run pipeline. And we really glossed over the idea of these pipeline templates. And this is exactly the focus of the video today. So what you'll see here is a very large variety, and with long descriptions now, of pipeline templates. So what does this mean? The idea is that Rambler offers a set of features to annotate your video, right? Maybe you really care about extremely high quality annotations, and then we're going to have to use our anomaly detection, and you set it to very stringent, or you really want just as quickly as possible to really just get to masks, right? Or you want activities predicted, or you want to start with already annotations that, for example, come from an object detector that's tuned for your purposes, or that even you brought, right? You brought in. And all of these connection points can be done in these pipeline templates, right? And again, here it's just the defaults. So there's a ton of them, and the idea is, of course, when you work with us, we would help you choose and or just straight up develop from scratch pipeline templates that work for your data and what you want to get out of this, right? And for example, a few options so that everything's tuned to your needs. So let's look at these pipeline templates in more detail. So we're gonna go here on the right side. We have our settings menu. um, Note here we have our terms and privacy policy in case you want to take a look, but we're going to go straight to pipeline templates. And here you have all the templates that we have in that menu right now. As I said, this is just a default set, just a very large variety. And we're going to take a look at default pipeline. So here they all have a description, right? Roughly of what is entailed in the particular type of pipeline. Um, and then you can go here to details, and it shows you actually the structure of the particular template, right? So we're going to zoom in here. And what you can see is it tells you, okay, it starts with keyframe detection, prepare the human annotation, then you annotate masks, and then you do anomaly detection, and then you evaluate what you find. And if you find something, you send it back to mask annotation, right? So you can just loop here. And then if we zoom out a little bit, the idea is that then you do, there's a human review step here. Again, this is just our default most to showcase the different parts, right? And the idea is that then it goes into a slightly more complex tree, um, where you go, it's basically you iterate over review cycles, analyzing covering different segments of your video until you have the whole video, and then it's put together. Um, and again, this pipeline is basically our classic version. It doesn't have a lot of the new features, but it's sort of our go-to when you want to run a very simple pipeline, right? In contrast, we have other types of pipeline. For example, we can look here. This is machine pre-annotation pipeline. It looks very similar to the default, but here is where we have this machine pre-annotation step. In this step, you actually will configure it so that, for example, it selects keyframes based on hand interactions. It runs, say, object detection as well, and because you only care about the sets of frames where the object you care about is featured, right? You can click in all of these boxes, and it offers you a very rough configuration. It tells you if you're using any particular special parameter sets, which we're going to cover in a sec. Here, no, it's just using the defaults, right? Um, but the idea is, again, this is very configurable. You can define a set, these completely custom. And here, for example, we have one of our newest pipelines, and I mentioned the inclusion of SAM2, the new model for Meta in our pipeline, as mask annotation, right? But we also have SAM2 for mass propagation. Also show that, right? And this is exactly a pipeline that uses SAM2. You can see it's much simpler, much more streamlined, and this is all available depending on what you need, what you want to use, right? Now, I mentioned that within each one of these steps, right, you can configure them to your needs, right? And the way to do that is by defining what we call the ML configurations, right? So machine learning configurations, because a lot of these steps are based precisely on machine learning. And what you see here is, for example, the different types of available configurations for the different types of steps. As a default, we only have generally one, which is the one step available, right? Some of them have two types of configuration. Some have more. For example, ID matching here, which is what's done in the end to keep, again, ID of objects consistent across the video, has a couple different variants, right? And we can look at these configurations as well. So, for example, we're going to go here to our mask overlap anomaly detection. And we can look at the details here. And this is actually the parameters that really customize the particular step you're looking at, right? So these are just a very large set of parameters. The idea is that you can edit them right here, right now. I can switch this to 10, and I can say save as, and I can save it as my own config, right? So you can customize this just immediately here in the UI, right? And as said, you can do this with pretty much any of the configuration methods, right? You can see here again keyframe detection based on camera movements or any important objects. Also tuned for long segments. I mean, really, this is full configurability, and of course, will be with you every step of the way to help you, define the 2 or 3 configs that will be most relevant to you, so that you can use them in your videos, right? So then, once you define these configs, um, again, we're gonna go to the project again. And when you're defining the pipeline, again, not only you get to pick your pipeline, but we have this customize button here. And here's where you can go, even without having to define a completely new template. You can just say, well, I like the sequence of steps here, but I want to change the configuration for ID matching. So you can go here, and instead of using the pipeline default, you can select another one of the configurations we have for ID matching, right? And then once you select it, you can just click on save, and you're going to run that particular pipeline. So again, full configurability. Again, power to the player, right? Um, so again, we can really take all your needs here and turn them into a couple templates, a couple ML configs, and that's it. Then you get the most out of our platform. And yeah, that's everything I wanted to cover today. Thank you so much for sticking with us, and yeah, check out our next videos as well. Thank you so much. Bye bye.